Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Chief Afe Babalola, has arrived at the Supreme Court of Nigeria in Abuja, where Bayelsa governorship tussle will be reviewed today. We have a correspondent there, and we'll be briefing you in later bulletins. But now, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has in the past couple of weeks been inundated with requests by the country's two major political parties, the ruling All Progressives Congress and the main opposition People's Democratic Party, while APC is angling for the Supreme Court to reverse itself on the case of Bayelsa State, where its supposed winning governorship ticket was overthrown through a judicial pronouncement. PDP is doing same in respect of a similar case in Imo State. For a conversation on this and some other contingent issues in the polity, we're now being joined by Alesta Wilcox, a professional accountant, human rights activist, and public affairs analyst. Welcome to the program. Good morning.
Thank you so very much for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. Let's start with your thoughts on the Supreme Court being asked to review its decisions, and that's the polite term. What the Supreme Court is being asked to do is reverse itself. So this has now become the latest political trend.
I think there are so much things happening in this country that sometimes we begin to wonder, is it part of evolution or development or what? There was a time in this country when the Supreme Court is sacrosanct.
Yes.
As soon as the decisions are made, the next thing is as the laws, as the court pleases, and everybody goes home. But this latest development of coming back to the Supreme Court to ask for a review, I think is novel in our body politics and in our legal system. Well, since they say the law is an ass, it can be twisted anyway. And lawyers these days want to find a way of milking their clients further every now and then. Even when cases you know, this case is useless. Instead of advising your client and maybe taking consultation fee from your client and advising your client, look, let's do it this way. You want to just exploit and take the rigors through every rigor. So it's a new development, and for which I'm not happy about it. Not that all the decisions made by the Supreme Court are perfect. They are not perfect. Because even from a layman point of view, there are certain things that you will not understand. You begin to find a rationale behind this kind of situations. But it is the Supreme Court. And so when the Supreme Court made that pronouncement, it is incumbent on everybody, especially the stakeholders. And who are the stakeholders in the judicial system? The lawyers. They are critical stakeholders. And who are those that go to ask for this review? It is the lawyers. So by the time you keep destroying your profession, I wonder who will help you build it up. It's
Absolutely.
sad.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it was Yutundumi yesterday said very soon people will start taking divorce cases over to the Supreme Court at this case if we don't nip things in the bud. And it does really raise a lot of questions and eyebrows. But let's actually talk about and get your analysis anyway on what's happened and been happening in both Bayelsa and Imo states. Let's start with Bayelsa State and your analysis of this entire situation.
Bayelsa, it's a very, very unfortunate case. I have spoken about Bayelsa in some of that instance, and with due respect to the justice of the Supreme Court, I have deep respect for them, because that is that's like our ambassadors in terms of our legal ambassadors to the world. When a case comes to the Supreme Court, it's expected that that case should have been reviewed and the best interest of the country should have been taken into account. So Bayelsa was quite unfortunate because it's a pre-election matter, and as part of, and for you to give a judgment 24 hours to the inauguration of a candidate who has been duly elected by its people, and that mandate was copped to at that point, it's rather unfortunate and very, very unfortunate. And what are the facts? Using the sin of the deputy governor, perceived sin of the deputy governor, to corrupt the entire ticket. Meanwhile, the same Supreme Court, in some other circumstances, has also separated the deputy governor and the governor. For instance, in Kogi State in 2015 or so, when 2014, when unfortunately Audu died, the commissioner candidate, and Faleke was to inherit his the ticket. I mean, the Supreme Court decided that no, Faleke cannot, because he was not. I mean, he was a deputy. He was not the incumbent. Now Faleke lost out on all grounds on that matter. Now you come to Bayelsa and you said the two are the same, and therefore, for a validly elected governor, you now disqualify him, and then somebody who came second was not asked to take over. So it's unfortunate. But what do we do? That is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has made his stance known. Yes, any other thing could be for academic exercises. But going to ask the Supreme Court to reverse itself, it's a painful and bitter pill that APC will have to swallow. But to ask the Supreme Court to reverse itself on that matter, except there are new facts. I'm not a lawyer, but except there are new facts, because, I mean, the lawyers have argued that there are circumstances upon which the Supreme Court can do that. But I can't remember in recent history any time that the Supreme Court has reversed itself totally. Maybe the Supreme Court can look at the matter and say, okay, there are facts that were not to our disposal, or that mistakes were made. And then the best we could do was, look, this judgment has been done, but please don't cite it as a precedent in other judgments. It has happened before. We can get to that level. But for you to say the Supreme Court should now totally reverse itself and restore the mandate of David Leon, I don't think, I've never had it happen before, and I don't think it's coming. I hope I'm being wrong, but I don't think that's ever come to stay.
Well, earlier you blamed lawyers, and rightly so, on trying to milk their clients by giving them, you know, the wrong advice. What role do political parties have to play in this mess with the Bayelsa state? Because if a proper vetting process was established by APC, PDP, whoever, cases like this would not happen. This gentleman, the names in the documents he submitted were completely different. Yeah. So this is the issue. So what do you have to say with regards to the parties?
There was a time when INEC was given responsibility to vet candidates.
Yes, it was taken away from them.
They went to court, some people went to court, and that right was taken out of INEC. It's expected that the political parties will do the vetting of their candidates. And so it now behoves on the parties to present whoever they feel is qualified. Now, if the party presented the deputy governorship candidate and they saw his certificates as incoherent with every other thing, the gentleman has come up and said, and that those are not, that he didn't forge them, maybe because of change of names and all whatnot, but this is what they should have known. He's a senator, he's a sitting senator right now. They should have known before now that, look, there are issues in this certification. And even when somebody went to court during the electoral process, at that point, APC will have, because, I mean, first of all, we said it, that, look, APC did not put the house in order, which is true. APC will have at that point say, look, this matter could jeopardize certain things. Yes. Or maybe they played over it, or they glossed over it and felt it doesn't matter. I think somebody was careless, or somebody was over-exuberant thinking it doesn't matter. But we have come to a point where, yes, to me, it couldn't have mattered. To me, the layman, it couldn't have mattered. Because if this man has been known to have gone to school, he has been known to have possessed certificates or post-certificates, and this certificate can be verified. But when you're talking about political game, in war, everything is fair. Your opponent is looking for your downfall. Imagine APC scoring over 400 and something thousand votes in Bayelsa, with PDP scoring 100 and something thousand votes. And so you will do everything to scuttle that. So they lashed on technicalities, and the Supreme Court bought their technicalities. And it's unfortunate because left to a layman like us, who will say, okay, if you feel this man is not qualified, now go for a new election. Remove the man and go for a new election. Because somebody was validly elected.
Exactly.
And the man that was elected was David Leon. David Leon only called, because, I mean, as far as that ticket is concerned, who went for primaries? So David Leon that went for primaries. He won the primaries. Names was submitted to INEC? It was David Leon. David Leon only co-opted as a deputy, which the Constitution asked him to do, to come to the deputy governor to run with him. So David Leon is the one that holds that ticket.
It's not merely co-opting, though. The Constitution makes it the deputy an integral part.
Yes, compulsory to have him.
Yes.
Now, so if you now take a spare tire that will not come, why will a spare tire not come and corrupt the whole?
That's a good analogy. But I mean, what's also interesting is that this is an argument or a point that was raised, or an alarm that was raised prior to the elections, yet nothing was done on that note. Now, over to Imo State, where a sitting governor was removed from office. What is your analysis of what's gone on there? And the PDP, of course, wanting the Supreme Court to reverse itself as well.
I think, for me, as far as Imo is concerned, Imo still remains a jigsaw puzzle that a lot of people are finding hard to chew. I in all good conscience, do not think that the entire judgment in Imo was right. Just like I also think the entire judgment in Bayelsa was wrong, because you couldn't have done what they did by disqualifying the. But in Imo, the case for Imo looked a little bit different, because it's a post-election matter. It's a normal election matter, which before now, governorship election stops at the Court of Appeal but it was in 2015 that they moved up to Supreme Court. If it was after the Court of Appeal, of course, people know how right. But when they moved to Supreme Court, now, I think what they looked at was like, look, Hope Uzodinma had a genuine case because his votes, according to him, they may be fictitious votes, they may be cooked-up votes, but that the votes from those polling units, 380 of them, was not part of the tally. And INEC could not come up with any reason why those votes were not part of the tally. Now, if you didn't tally those units, how did you declare a result? Because those units were now blank. 380 polling units were now blank. You didn't tally them, you didn't cancel them, you didn't do anything about them, and which is wrong because you are disenfranchising the entire people that had those votes. INEC has the right to cancel votes and give reasons for cancellation. You didn't cancel. INEC has a right to make pronouncements. You just excluded them unlawfully. So which is what the Supreme Court looked into and said, look, you can't exclude those votes because they are valid votes. They have the police tendered their own copy, the SSS or whoever, the mountain. INEC does not have a copy to tender. Even what they call him, Ikedi or Hake, do not have a copies to tender. So that now made to give the Supreme Court to say, look, this vote should be added. And when it was tabulated, it discovered that the person that came forth now became first. And the Supreme Court ordered that he should be sworn in as this. Now, just as it happened in the case, and I would have expected political parties to be more rational in certain areas. And it's incumbent, I think, I don't want to be biased, but I think the PDP seems to be crying wolf anywhere they lost election. When they lost Imo, they cried to high. They started even, I think it's people that started this issue of let's go for a review. Because when APC lost Zamfara, remember Zamfara was an election that has been concluded. 3 days to swearing in, the Supreme Court, led by the Chief Judge of the Federation, gave a judgment that disqualified every candidate APC fielded on the grounds that APC never conducted a valid primary, which was INEC's position. The High Court upheld INEC's position. The Court of Appeal upturned INEC's position, and they allowed them to field candidates. Now, the Supreme Court upturned the Court of Appeal and said, this party did not conduct a valid primary. Therefore, they do not have candidates for that election. And therefore, every of their vote was cancelled. And PDP swept inherited all the elective positions. They rejoiced and called the Supreme Court the last of the common man. Dito in River State, when APC could not file candidates due to legal tussles and everything, and that gave the PDP a leeway. They never called for the moment they lost Imo, in that judgment, oh, the Supreme Court is bad, the judges have been compromised, and then the case of Bayelsa that came, they now took over Bayelsa. They now shut up. So sometimes the politicians probate and reprobate at the same time. So this must end somehow, somewhere. We can't allow the politicians to drag. Yes, the judges in the Supreme Court, they are not angels, they are human. Some of them have political leaning. We must admit that. I mean, people have been fingering that why should Mary Odili have suspended over that case, knowing fully well that she's politically exposed to a PDP bigwig. Her husband is not, Peter Odili, former governor of River State, is not a small fry in terms of the PDP structure. So if you have your wife, just like the PDP protested the heading of the panel to try the presidential election, being Justice Bakachua, having connection to somebody in APC. And the PDP protested that woman should not head the panel that tried the what do you call it, the presidential election petition at the Court of Appeal. And she recused herself and didn't head that panel. So also, there should have been that red flag that, look, Mary Odili should not have headed the panel on that Bayelsa case because she might not be biased,
Hold your
but it will have been seen.
One moment. So let's go on a quick commercial break, and when we come back, the conversation will continue. Stay with us. Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Alesta Wilcox, a professional accountant, human rights activist, and public affairs analyst, is still here with us on the program, looking in at the Bayelsa and Imo State situations that are currently going on. Before we went on a break, you were speaking on Justice Mary Odili.
Yes, so I would have expected that the way the PDP protested against Justice Bakachua, they should have also protested against Justice Mary Odili, so that political connotation is not being read to that judgment. Remember, yes, it's a panel of 5, and the entire 5 justices agreed on the matter. But there should have been that element of fairness and seem to be fair if somebody who is not politically exposed was not on that panel. But it has happened, and I just hope that the legal minds and whatever, the Supreme Court should save itself from where the politicians are dragging it to. Now, the politicians are really dragging the Supreme Court to the mud. And if there are members of the Supreme Court that are politically exposed and that could not give judgment that could not be read political meaning to, then in certain cases they should recuse themselves.
Well, this is the problem with precedent. With Justice Zainab Bolkachoa, she made a point of saying that she's not recusing herself based on the PDP application that she should, which she described as incompetent.
Yeah.
Or, well, the whole panel just ruled it as incompetent. She said she's stepping down on her own volition. She made that point.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that has created a precedent whereby a protest from an opposing party doesn't really mean much. If it's the individual judge does not want to step down in accordance with his or her conscience, they won't. That is the issue here, and it is a problem.
Well, I pray, Justice Bolkachoa took the honorable step to that said she wants to do that.
But it's now become an option.
Yes, it's sometimes you set the wrong precedent. And of course, who started it? It is the PDP. Really and truly, one man could not have made the entire difference in a panel of 5. But by the time people start reading unnecessary meaning, then let's go the whole hog about it. She did step aside because there was protest. Mary Odili didn't step aside because there was no protest. Now, if they have protested and she refused to step out, that is her right. It's her right, really. It's her right to remain on that panel. But if her being in that panel will have read negative meaning to the judgment and will bring the court to disrepute, then she could have also saved the judicial and saved herself by step. But there was no...
So, but now that it's an option, are you saying that there should be an obligation going forward that if you're politically exposed in a direct way, you should step aside, that they have to be obligated to step aside?
It is natural that you do that because we are in a climate where people think of a lot of... Remember, even in the U.S., the last case of this man, what's it called? The last case just finished, Trump friend, what's his name? Stone.
Roger Stone. What
did Trump say? The Trump was now accusing the head of the leader of the jury as being politically biased, and now they're asking for a retrial. So this thing is universal. If you feel that your presence will create some political undertone to your fairness on that matter, then I think it's obligated that you step aside. And
I also want to take your thoughts on what happened, the protest at her residence, at Justice Odili's residence. What are your thoughts on that?
It's wrong. It's wrong. We must protect the members of our... We must protect the members of the bench. Going to protest in her house is a breach of a fundamental human right, and it is wrong. You can protest at Fountain Square, Eagle Square, anywhere you want to protest, but taking it so personal. I am not happy that she was in that panel that gave that judgment, but I will not support anybody that goes to a house to protest. It is wrong. It's not, because judges are meant to be sacred. Before now, we don't see judges more.
No, we don't.
Before now, we don't see judges.
I think it's so sad.
But now, even Mary Odili attended the inauguration Thanksgiving of Wike in 2015. She attended the Thanksgiving service with her husband, which for me is wrong.
Yes, it is.
Judges are not judges before now. You don't see them. They are sacred. They seems to be like angels. But today, we've had judges that have been disciplined for corruption, for bribery, for all manner of things. And that has brought our judiciary to disrepute. The common man cannot get justice. I spent 4 years in an ordinary industrial court for a simple matter that is just, you are owing me, you are not owing me. And at the end of the day, the kind of judgment that was delivered against me, that was the plaintiff. If you read that judgment, even you would know that this woman is corrupt.
That's certainly
sad.
Yeah. Very
sad. I've filed an appeal, and my appeal has not even come for hearing. That is, has not been decided. But even the courts, the system is so slow that you don't get justice if you are not rich and powerful as to pull your way through. Appeal that filed over 2 years now has remained unheard.
It's a big shame.
Shame on the judiciary, sincerely.
You can see that there is, unfortunately, a decline within several systems in Nigeria, the judiciary being one of them. And I'd also like us to take up the topic of Amotekun before we round up this conversation. Yeah. And, of course, this has now gone through public hearings in respective states. So let's start with your analysis of this notion of a regional security network, the controversies around it, and the fact that now it is all coming together.
And for me, I have always said it, Nigeria runs a constitution, and the constitution has lines of authority as embedded in the concurrent and the exclusive list. Certain element of security, yeah, the state governors are made, I say the chief security officers, but they have their limits as to what they could go. The issue of security is everybody's business, and will not begrudge anybody that wants to carry out anything that will enhance security around. It has been happening over the place. Lagos used to have the Security Trust Fund, within which they help to equip and enforce the police. Several states have also done a lot of things to help the police. But when you want to start up a different outfit that is different from Nigerian police, there must be a lot of care taken. Now, the way the Southwest governors went about it initially was very, very wrong, and I condemned it. You don't wake up one day. Yeah, you don't wake up one day and start forming a group that is not in tandem with the Constitution. And I think I want people to appreciate what Malami did by coming up with that statement. I think that was what has put a lot of you in the check, because you launched an outfit without an enabling law. Who does that? You started, yeah, it's a good concept, but there must be a law that will back it up. And that law is what is going to spell out lines and lines of authority, responsibilities, where they can operate, how they can operate. Look, Lagos has the neighborhood security and the neighborhood watch. There's a bill, there's a law that established the Lagos State Neighborhood Watch that clearly states their lines of authority. When Lagos established LASTMA, there's a law that established LASTMA. Remember, the issue of traffic management is embedded in the police. But when Lagos started LASTMA, they brought up a law that does not conflict with what the police is doing, rather complement what the police is doing. So when you want to start up a security outfit of this nature, moreover, Amotekun is supposed to be an arm-carrying security outfit. So there must be proper law that establishes it. And I've always...
Arms-carrying?
Yes. It's supposed to be an arm-carrying because they have... I mean, the nation is to fight kidnappers, to fight bandits, and all what...
But the police have made it quite clear that all they can bear is Dane guns.
Well, if the most have made it clear, then that should be part and part of what's going to be in the bill.
But that's what's being discussed.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be what's going to be in the bill. Even if you're going to carry a Dane gun must be licensed by the police.
Yeah, for the hunters among
yes, them. For any arm you are buying in this country that is supposed to be legal, must be licensed by the police. So if you form an outfit that's supposed to carry even machetes, is a dangerous weapon. Even if you want to carry a machete, bow and arrow, is a dangerous weapon. It must be clearly spelled out in the enabling law. And so that was why, in a further, I was saying that how can a governor like Akeredolu of Ondo State, a senior advocate of Nigeria, not call his colleagues to order and say, look, this is what we want to do. We must be constitutionally bound. And so we have to start with a law. So now that they have gone back to look at to make laws, to create a bill that will regulate it's all well and good. I will be so happy that if I'm driving on Lagos Ibadan Expressway, I have people who are watching over me. I'll be so happy if I'm driving to Ekiti. I drive a lot in this country. I travel a lot in this country. If I'm going to Ekiti, all those Aramoko area and everywhere, I'll be happy that there are people who are watching over the entire road. I'll be so happy. But I will not support anything that goes in conflict with the Constitution of Nigeria. No.
Amotekun was never in any conflict. I see a lot of politics in the Attorney General's statement, but you're our guest.
I don't see politics. Yes, I see that he might have political undertone, but I think his intervention was timely. He might have a political undertone. Sometimes you want to do the wrong thing, but you end up doing. I see his intervention as very timely.
Really?
In order for us to get back and see that. Because if you will do a thing without a law, People are always mentioning what of Hizbah. Hizbah has a law.
But they were never going to do it without a law.
But they've already launched it.
Yes, but then was it operational?
Launching, what does launching mean?
But was it operational?
You have to, before you launch, you have to start, there has to be a law.
They hadn't even hired people yet.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. You've already started the concept, and you are being called to order. And you have launched the concept.
So I felt like that statement was just unnecessarily inflammatory.
No. Unnecessarily necessary. For me, necessary.
Especially we disagree. But I want to take you up on Senator Ike Ekweremadu, who is doing things in the exact way that you like.
Yes.
He's drafted a beautiful bill, presented it to the Senate for state police. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm opposed to state police in all its entirety.
Why?
If you see what's happening today in those states with Governor Baseke, what he's doing today, you know that state police is a time bomb.
So you are one of the people that I referred to, was it yesterday? There's some people who feel that state police is a weapon in the hands of a governor running for an election.
A complete weapon in the hands of, even when the federal police can be handled, can be bought over. Remember the case in Rivers State when Rotimi Amechi was governor? He's running battle with Matthew Mbu. You remember, look today what's happening in Edo State. In so many states has happened. What happened in Kwara in the days of Saraki? So, look, even when the federal police can be compromised, can be bought over, then you're talking of a state police that is 100% funded by the governor. Look, my dear, let us not start what we cannot finish.
What's a good solution
we know
for
the
you,
truth. The solution is let us be shouting it at the top of our head that our current police be made efficient, be expanded. Let us continue to expand it and make it better. More recruitment, more training, provision of equipment and material. Make them more responsible, because today our policemen looks like disgrace in the international community. If you see a Nigerian policeman, say a Ghanaian policeman, you'll be ashamed of a Nigerian policeman. So let us make them more active.
That's partly to do with how much they're paid. Policemen in Ghana earn a lot more than our policemen.
They don't. I know this. I have made the investigation.
So do
they
I.
don't make.
So
they don't earn more than you.
Yeah,
they are only contented with what they earn. They live in decent barracks. Not that the barracks are more funded. They live in decent barracks. Go to a police barrack. Go to a Nigerian police barrack.
Even the police in Mali, I was shocked. Which is one of the reasons why that whole giant of Africa, it's so upsetting.
Honestly.
And we had so much to discuss with you, but we have to go now. Thank you so much for joining us.
I hope to come again some other time.
I hope you do.
I hope to come again some other time. I'm enjoying this.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for having me.